Hi, this is Kevin Toffel with JK on the Run, and today we've got a video review of the FlyBook from Dialog. We want to give a big shout out to iCube because iCube loaned us this for about 2 weeks and let me use this in my daily grind so I could get a feel for it and then tell you all about the device. And if you're interested, you can go to icube.us in your browser, and they are an importer of various computers and other gadgets that they can get from overseas for you. And the reason you'd want to get this one from overseas is because it's from Taiwan, made by Dialog. So, let's talk a little bit about the device and show you what it's all about, and then we'll get into actually using it. We'll start on this side, and I'll kind of move up here a little bit. On this side we have a pen, Stylus. Let me take that out of there. This is the FlyBook Stylus, and if you'll notice, it's a little thin, and it's a little short, perhaps stubby, but I have to be honest, as much as I didn't think I'd like it at first, I actually find that it fits in my fingers really nicely. It's flat and fits well. Personal preference here. Put that back. Right next to that, we've got the hard drive. We're going to talk about that in a little bit because this hard drive can be replaced. In fact, that's a very unique aspect I find in this device. Let's show you the back side. And what we've got here is our power in. We've got our phone jack for a modem. We have 2 USB ports here. We've got a wired Ethernet jack. VGA out comes in handy. Video out with an included cable. 2 FireWire 400 ports, one here, one here. Very nice to have. Surprised to see 2 of those on a device this small. And finally we wrap it up with a headphone jack and a microphone jack. Actually, we don't wrap it up because, hey, look at this. Everybody wants one. PC card slot. If you've got an EVDO card or other 3G type modem card, you can just pop that in there like so, and there you go. You're off and running. Fact of the matter, though, is you really don't need this, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. Actually, I'll tell you right now, because on this side, next to the power button, is a little slot right here. That slot holds a SIM card. Now, I do not have a SIM card because I'm not on a GSM carrier network with either T-Mobile, Singular, etc. I'm on the Verizon Wireless network. Well, once again, iCube came through and provided us with a T-Mobile SIM card, which I have in here right now. Well, I know what you're asking. Why do you have a SIM card in a laptop? Well, 2 reasons. One, with Edge capability, you can surf the web, send emails, etc. 2, with that SIM card in there, this device effectively acts like a cell phone on whichever network you're on. So we can even make phone calls with this device. It's one less thing to carry around. Why carry a cell phone? There's something to be said for working away on this computer and having the phone ring so you can pick it right up, take your call. It's very interesting. We're going to demonstrate that in a minute. Actually, let's open this up and show you what we've got on the inside here. You'll notice we have a screen here that is 8.9 inches in diagonal, and the resolution, the native resolution of this is 1024 by 600, which I find very compelling. I really like that resolution natively. On the Samsung Q1 I have that resolution, but it's not a true resolution. It's kind of software interpolated and whatnot. So we're going to show you some screenshots or differences between the 2 of those. This is also a touch screen, so you can touch as needed or use the stylus. Additionally, what we have here is we have a built-in microphone, and then we have integrated speakers here and here. Obviously we have a keyboard. We're going to talk about that in a little bit because that's something that everybody seems to want on the small computing devices. We're going to talk about that in detail. From a control standpoint, I really like what Dialog has done here with this FlyBook because you've got left and right mouse buttons right here. You have another set of left and right mouse buttons right here. Top is left, bottom is right. You have a little joystick here, which actually doubles as a mouse button as well if you tap it. And I didn't realize that at first because I don't read the manual, so I probably should. But absolutely, once I figured that out, it was just move it around, tap. But we'll demonstrate that as well. Finally, you've got a pan feature right here. Think of it as a center scroll wheel type device or button that you have on a mouse. You can press that and then scroll up or down with the joystick, and you'll be actually scrolling down or scrolling up a web page, panning through it, which is quite nice. Okay, we've also got the battery right here, and kind of keeps things thin. I'm getting about 2 hours of battery life without any problem there, and that's using multiple radios. However, you can get, and iCube rather, was kind enough to throw in for the review the extended battery, which effectively doubles the battery life, because the standard battery is 2400 milliamps. This is 4800. And really, if I hold this where it would be, you can see it doesn't really add that much more bulk to the device. In fact, it actually adds a nice wrist rest. I kind of like that. So, before we fire this up, let's talk about carrying this guy around. Really, really nice case here. Hopefully you can see that. And has a handle here, so I guess you can carry it like a purse. Let's talk about how this fits in. Snug as a bug. Just like that. Gotta give it a little bit of some oomph to get it in there, which actually I don't mind, because it's nice and protected that way. And then, very innovative, once I get it all the way in there, this flap right here folds over, and then there's a magnet in here that adheres to the bag right here. So you have a little magnet flap. You can hear that. See? And there you go. You take this out. Really like this bag. I will say that if you have the extended battery in your FlyBook, it's not going to fit into that bag. Alright. Why don't we fire this up? I actually had this in standby mode. So let me hit the power button. Bring it back up. It'll take a second. There is a screen protector on here that iCube put on there. I left it on there for the review. I'm not a fan of screen protectors, but for a review unit I would certainly leave one on. Again, we've got the touch screen, so I'm back. Okay, at this point we've got the FlyBook booted up. Actually out of sleep mode, just to save a little time. And what I want to do is show you one of the most innovative features of this device, something that really sets it apart. I mentioned it before, that's that SIM card slot and the wireless WAN technology built in. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to open up, actually before I do anything, I want to turn the radio on, the wireless WAN radio, which I already had on, so let's try it again. You can see there's an on-screen display, and that actually, let me just show you the wireless LAN or Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all of that is done through function keys, or there's actually an on-screen display that you can use to turn these radios on and turn off. But let's go back to the Wi-Fi off and turn that cellular radio back on. Okay. What I'm going to do, I actually tried to give James a quick call, but that didn't work out. He wasn't available at this time, so I'm actually going to call myself on my XV6700, but I'm going to leave the room here after I dial that number. So that way, you can hear me on my phone through here. Make sense? Let's give it a shot. First up is to open up the mobile phone tools. And no, we don't want to register. There we go. You'll see down here is a phone application. It's going to tell me what network I'm on. It's going to give me my status in terms of how good the signal is. Let me see if I can give you a little bit of a better idea. You've got a soft keypad here for phone, and it now says Edge, so you can zoom in a little bit more. So I'm connected to the Edge network here at my home on T-Mobile. I'm going to zoom out for a second, and if you bear with me, I am going to actually zoom out a little bit more and call my phone. Don't want everybody to have that phone number, if you don't mind. And we'll make that call. And I'm actually going to minimize this and leave the room. You can probably hear my phone ring. See ya!
supposed to leave me a message. No, I'm just kidding. Hopefully you can hear this coming through the speakers of the FlyBook. I'm actually 2 rooms away on my cell phone. So, as you can tell, the FlyBook can really be used as a cellular phone, which is quite amazing. It really is something to be said for typing away and just having a phone ring, and actually your computer is the phone. It's amazing. Alright, I'm going to hang up and I'll be right back.
Alright. Hopefully that sounded okay. I won't know until later, but it should have demonstrated the capabilities. What I'm also going to do now is, since we have the wireless WAN radio on, we can connect to the internet by using that Edge network. Bear with me 1 second. Close that. Alright, we're now opening up a port, initializing on the T-Mobile Edge network, and we are now connected. Let me kind of zoom in here because I'd like to see if you can make out the status of the reception and the signal speed. Actually, can't really tell if there's a good signal just yet, but you know what we're going to do? We are going to go out to the web and check it out. Let's see if we can make this a little bit better here. Let's open up Internet Explorer. We'll do a speed test. Now I'm used to my EVDO network here where I routinely get 5, 6, even 8, 900 kbps. So the whole Edge experience was new for me. I literally forced myself to use it for a couple days just to see what it was like. And it got the job done, no question. The fact that it's integrated right into the FlyBook makes it super, super easy. I ended up actually using my XV6700 and EVDO later on during my review. Just figured, well, you know what, I have that capability, so why not? Alright. Actually, while we're connected and we're on the JK on the Run screen, the home screen, home page, I'm actually going to zoom out for a second because I want to talk a little bit about the resolution here. Remember what I said before, the native resolution of the FlyBook is 1024 by, just close that email, 1024 by 600. So what I'm going to do is fire up Sammy. Let me zoom out a little bit. Move this guy over. And we're going to look at the same page once he wakes up and see the difference in the resolutions. I actually already had it set up for that, and you can see, in fact, let me scroll down a little bit. There's quite a bit of scrolling involved here because everything's kind of squished, as opposed to here, less scrolling. More fits on the page, obviously. Now, if I wanted to, on the Samsung, I could emulate that resolution, and I'm going to do that right now. And I'll see if I can get in a little bit closer for you, because let's get this back to the exact same. We're now at the same resolution, obviously on a different size screen. This screen on my right is much clearer, and I don't know if that's going to come across in this video, but I'm going to see what I can do about that. Zooming in a little too much. Everything is crisp and clean. It may not look it to you on the camera, but trust me, it is. If I come over to Sammy, I'm at that same resolution, but unfortunately, and I can't zoom it in enough based on where the camera is, unfortunately, because it's done through software, it's definitely not as clear. Hands down, a native 1024 by 600 screen runs circles around something like this. This is certainly usable. Sammy is usable, but I really like this screen. Okay. Put Sammy to the side. You already had your review, Sammy. Alright, sounds like I'm getting emails up the yin-yang here. Wow. Alright, let's bring this back. Let's talk a little bit more about the screen, because one of the things that actually disappointed me at first, and it was actually my own ignorance that it was, I didn't like the fact that this device, when you put it into a slate mode, I did not like the fact that there were no hardware buttons. Like most, well, all true tablet PCs have some type of hardware button, you know, around here for maybe turning on your radios, for a joypad for scrolling, etc., navigation, and so on and so forth. And usually those buttons are programmable. Well, there weren't any here, and I wasn't too happy about that. However, shame on me, because I found out later on, let's minimize this for a second, and minimize our phone application. I found out later on there's this really nice FlyBook control center. I don't know if you can make that out or not, but right here I can do a lot of things that I normally would do with hardware buttons. I just do them on the screen, such as screen rotation. We've got everything upside down. Normally on my Toshiba M205 tablet PC, I would actually use a hardware button for that. But I don't have to with this. So the lack of hardware buttons really isn't a problem, as I originally thought. I can change my brightness, I can reduce or increase the sound, I can mute the device, output not just the LCD but to a VGA or TV, I can go into sleep or hibernate mode. It's actually quite impressive. I already showed you the rotation as well. This also shows me what radios I have actually working and running right now. Wireless WAN, which we already knew. Bluetooth, we'll talk about that in a little bit. You cannot have both Wi-Fi and wireless WAN on at the same time. At least I have not been able to. So that's something people should know. And we've often talked about notebook hardware control as a piece of freeware for portable laptops. Well, guess what? A lot of the statistics that NHC provides you actually come with the FlyBook. Here I can see the temperature of the CPU, the hard drive, everything else, the fan speed. Fan's going at 7125 RPM right now, which is amazing. Power, voltage, battery, capacity, current capacity, it's all right here. It's a very nice on-screen piece of software. Down here is the pen mount software, and pen mount is the touchscreen software and driver set that goes with this touchscreen. That's for calibration, etc. I have it already calibrated, so I'm not going to do that right now. But again, my initial impression, hey, where's the hardware buttons? Guess what? Don't need them. They're all right in that control center, which is really, really nice. Alright, now let's talk about something very interesting, something that everybody wants on their ultra-portable devices, and that is a keyboard. You do have a full keyboard here. Numerous rows. I find it, there's no key missing that I would be looking for. I really like the fact that all the keys are here. My only concern would be the size of the keyboard. And what I'm going to do is take out my staple of my gadget bag, and that is my Think Outside Stowaway keyboard. And the reason I want to do this is because this is a full-size keyboard, even though it folds. Get this here, put this here, tilt this around. Now, as you can see, I've got the Think Outside Bluetooth keyboard taken out, and size-wise, you can see the difference in the keys. At least I hope you can. The reason I'm illustrating this is because while the keyboard in the FlyBook is very usable, I did find that, let me do a new email here, that I cannot, for any length of time, sit here and pound away at this thing all day. I just can't do it. To give you a comparison, because everybody's different size, different shape. I'm about 5'6" and only weigh about 125 pounds. Small hands, and as you can see, if I sit here and type, I'll type a note to James. Hey James, this is Kevin, and there was a mistake there, doing the FlyBook review right now. A couple little mistakes in there. Let me zoom in. And you know what? Part of it is my typing. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an expert typist. However, for me to sit here and pound away on this keyboard all day, it's just not something I can do. I think it works very, very well for, say, short emails, notes, that type of thing. If you're going to sit here and work on a Microsoft Word document or pound out blog posts all day, I think it's going to be difficult. I tried it for roughly 3 days, literally using just this keyboard. And while I did get used to it to some degree, this is not an all-day keyboard in my opinion. You may find otherwise, but I want to be honest and fair and tell you that I tried it and it really wasn't the most comfortable thing for me. So, having said that, I really do like the navigation button that they have here. Let me see if I can tilt this camera down a little bit more so you can get a feel for what I'm doing. Better yet, I can just do this. I'm using the little joypad here, and remember I have these mouse buttons here, I have the mouse buttons here. But let me use this. I found this to be quite usable. Let me zoom out for a second so you can get a feel on the screen. If I close this email, do I want to save changes? No, I don't. Oops, there we go. And that's on my email. Let's minimize that. As you can see, I'm moving this around with no problem. Let's bring back up Internet Explorer rather, and just move around here. Find it to be working quite well. I'll hit that pan button for a second. Actually, I hit the wrong button there. My fault. My fault. Let's pan, and you can see, I hope, that as I go down now, it scrolls super fast or super slow, depending on what I do. Okay. If I want to click a link, that's not a problem. Tap and click. Remember, we're on Edge right now. Ooh, now's a good time to do that speed test I was talking about, I'll bet. For those of you with Edge, you're probably used to this speed. Again, I am not. My EVDO is probably about 4 or 5 times faster. However, my EVDO is not integrated, which I really like. Really, really like that, more than I thought I would. So while this is thinking about opening, it's churning and burning, I am going to go back and do that speed test. I use speedtest.net. This may take a minute. In fact, let's put this into slate mode, which is how I prefer to use it. And in fact, I will use the Stylus that comes with. Let's see if we can get this for you. For those of you who have never used Speed Test, I highly recommend it. It's got a great interface. Works very well. It's from the same folks that used to do Speakeasy. It's Speakeasy. That's who it is. The DSL folks. Let's see our war map. And it says to use a server in the Midwest, but I am not in the Midwest. I'm going to use the one in New York. And hopefully you'll be able to see the little speedometer. Let's get rid of that glare for you. Sometimes takes a second. It says it's testing the download, but I don't see the speedometer going. We're going nowhere, guys. We're stuck in neutral. What are you doing? This is probably why I could not do Edge, but that's just me. And we're going. And we're hovering around 75, 80, 60 some. I've actually gotten results around 150 kbps here. It could have something to do with the fact that I'm in a slate mode right now. Don't know. But there you go. 79 kbps was the result. And now it'll do an upload, which I would expect to be probably close to the same. And there it goes. No, it's slower. We're in the mid-30s right now. Boy, this is like watching paint dry. Hey, some grass is growing too. Okay, there we go. 41. So 79 down, 41 kbps up. I have gotten better here. Hey, it all depends on your reception, the time, etc. So I don't want to be too hard on the edge. But you know what I am going to do to make it a little bit better for all of us? I am going to go and turn that wireless LAN on, which will turn the wireless WAN off. Okay. And in a second we'll be connected on the wireless LAN here in my home. Don't know if we'll need it, but hey, what the heck. You know, we talked earlier about the touchscreen, and what you may have noticed, or definitely should have noticed by now, is that this is not the tablet edition. This is Windows XP Professional. We should probably talk about that a little bit. I personally would love to see this device with tablet edition because I think it gains some features that you just can't get with third-party tools. I probably should rephrase that. You can get them with third-party tools. I'm just not as used to those third-party tools, quite honestly. What I'm talking about are tools such as WritePen, Evernote. Evernote's actually quite a good program, but WritePen I just haven't really been able to do what I wanted to as quickly with. Here, let's start WritePen for a second. For those of you who have never used it, basically it allows you to write anywhere on your screen, and it will take the text that you write. It will then read that text, recognize it, and insert it as needed. So if I were to go and do a Google search and say I said Microsoft, I just wrote that on the screen, it inserts it up here. It did have a slight problem with that, so I'm going to try and fix it. I apologize, I am not a heavy user of this software. Let's try it again. Microsoft. And there's even a little pop-up to tell me if I spelled it wrong, gives me options. But here, we'll do a quick search for Microsoft, and boom, there we go. I'll be honest, it's probably my not getting used to WritePen. I'm not certainly bashing the software. I think it's a good proxy for the tablet PC operating system, but I personally prefer tablet PC. That's just me. That's just me. While we're in here, in fact, let me turn WritePen off for a second. Close WritePen. We might as well show you Evernote, which is very similar to OneNote, other than the fact that it's a scrolling eternal piece of paper, which is interesting. Very interesting. Let's see if we can put a note in here. It'll be kind of hard for me to write, but new note. Oh, it's not letting me do what I want to do. Again, it's probably me. Ink note. That would be helpful. Hello. This is a note. I will say I'm pretty impressed with how this does not vector as much. I'm going to place my hand on here. I'm going to put my palm on here, and I'm going to write. Let me just do this. I've got a full screen to work with. I'm going to put my palm here. Now I have my palm touching the screen. Not a single bit of vectoring, which is actually pretty impressive. I can try real hard, and I just did. I pushed my knuckle down on the screen as I wrote. If I do that, it will certainly try and connect the XY coordinates. If I put my palm there, I'm okay. I'm okay. There's squiggles, but I made the squiggles. It wasn't vectoring. So that's pretty impressive. So if you can get by without tablet PC and use WritePen, Evernote, etc., this might be an excellent note-taking device for you. Okay, let's close that. Close IE. Let's talk a little bit about multimedia, because this has something else that's actually very unique, and that would be the ATI graphics processor inside. Let me see if I can get you the exact specs as it thinks. Actually, I didn't really talk about the specs. We'll actually wrap up with the specs. How's that sound? I think it's coming back up. There we go. Okay, we've got an ATI Radeon Express 200M series, and I believe it normally comes with 64 megabytes of video memory. However, when I actually take a look at the information center, at least I believe it was the information center, it was showing me 128 megabytes of video memory, which is pretty impressive. We'll talk about more specs in a second, but let's just see from a multimedia standpoint how good or bad this is or isn't. Hey, there's our good friends. Gotta be mobile. Granted, I have the speakers covered up because I'm in a tablet mode. That should get louder when I do that. Let's see if I can get that just right for you. And which one was this? This was their Ink Show.
Hi, this is Warner Crocker.
Hi, Warner.
Again from GottaBeMobile.com with another Ink Show. Before we get into the topic of today's Ink Show, I'd like to give our sponsors a big thank you. We're very grateful for TechSmith Corporation's support.
Good company,
TechSmith. Makers of Snagit and Camtasia Studios.
I remember this was the Think Outside Bluetooth keyboard review.
Let's
see if we can.
I am in the middle of taping something right now. Could you just
Oh, well, that's not good. I know what that feels like.
I don't care.
Anyway, I find the video to be quite good on this. Quite good. And I'm sure that ATI mobility has something to do with it. Bye, Warner. Alright. So what else can we talk about? Let's talk about the specifications, because I think that's probably something I should have covered first, but didn't. So we will do a wrap-up with the specifications. How about that? Alright. What you've got here, and just so I don't goof anything up, I'm going to get the box in front of me. What you've got here on the FlyBook V33i is Windows XP Pro, as we said before. Inside, we're actually running an Intel Pentium M at 1.1 gigahertz. So this is not a Celeron processor, this is not a VIA processor. I find it to be pretty snappy, and the fact that it can speed step down to about 600 or 550 megahertz, probably 600, saves you a little bit of battery juice, which is really nice. The hard drive is 40 gigabytes, that's standard, and you can upgrade the hard drive. In fact, in the manual, they do show you that you can swap out the RAM, and they even tell you how to remove the keyboard so that you can take out the hard drive, swap it out. Very nice. I did not open it, but I assume that it's a 2.5 inch drive. We've already talked about the radios. Let's talk about the memory. There is 1 gigabyte of memory in this particular model. I found that to be more than adequate. It may be able to go up to 2 gig. I'd have to check on that. Or, in fact, you could probably go to the iCube.us site and find that out for sure. We talked about the touchscreen. Talked about the video. Battery here, definitely getting 2 hours. Definitely getting about 4 hours out of the extended. So that works pretty well. I found the sound quality to be very good out of the integrated speakers. And trying to think if that's it. I think that's pretty much everything spec-wise that you would want to know. So let me just do a summary. I'll let you guys look at the device here. We all want the keyboard on our ultra-mobile computers. It's probably one of the biggest complaints about today's UMPCs that I hear. And quite honestly, I can see why you would want it. However, it all depends on how much you're going to use it. For me, I'll be honest, it works better for me to have a Bluetooth full-size keyboard. I write a lot, however. If you don't write a lot, if you just do web surfing, email, things like that, this is definitely going to work for you. I really do like the navigation buttons. Fantastic here with this joypad, and the buttons here for your mouse. Really like that. Stylus, I didn't think I was going to like, but you know what? In the end, after actually using the device in my daily grind, I did like it. I think that one of the most innovative features is having that SIM card slot right in here with the wireless WAN capability. Fantastic. You are the hotspot. You don't have to worry about Wi-Fi or anything like that, but of course you have Wi-Fi as well. the ability to swivel and go into slate mode, definite winner there. I really like to do that so I can take my notes. On the flip side of that is I like to take my notes in something that I can use on a tablet PC edition operating system such as Windows Journal or OneNote. So that's just me, that's just personal preference again. From a look and feel, I mean, the device is a sweet looking device. I mean, it's very, what my better half would say is it's fashionable. As soon as we open the box, she said, ooh, it's red. It's bold. It's really nice. It's probably not coming out as well as I would like it to on the video, but it's very nice. I found the FlyBook to be very responsive, and that I'm sure has a lot to do with having a gig of RAM as well as the Intel Pentium M at 1.1 gigahertz. I think that's probably the reason for that. All in all, it's a nice device. I say if you're going to look at one, you're going to have it imported because they're made by Dialog in Taiwan. So you're going to want to check an importer. Obviously, we got this one from iCube, so go check them out. One last time, I want to thank them, not only for lending me the FlyBook, but also for taking care of that SIM card, loaning me one so I could actually show this device off in a way that I wouldn't have been able to without it. So thanks again to you guys. This device would be back on its way, and if you're interested in it, I say go over to icube.us. Thanks again for joining us. My name's Kevin Toffel. Who calls themselves during a video review? Where the heck was he? Let's see if I can get him. Probably out sunbathing again. That's not good for your skin or your devices.
Lan newsroom. How may I direct your call?
There you are.
Hey, dude.
Were you sunbathing? I called you right in the middle of a video review.
It's just you. I thought it was somebody with an important tip.
It's just me? It's just me?
What's going on?
Oh, not too much. Just finished up the video review and I need to do the post-production stuff, so, keeping busy.
Cool. Always, it's Friday.
That's right. That's right. And now the FlyBook has to go back, unfortunately.
Oh, that's too bad. I bet you're having fun with that thing.
I was, and the FlyBook and Sammy were getting along really nice too.
Yeah.
Oh well. Cool.
Well, at least you didn't name it.
No, you can't name it, and then it's like having a pet and you can't get rid of it,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, cool. Alright, well I'm glad to hear you weren't out there sunbathing. That's bad for your skin, that's bad for your devices.
Oh yeah. I'm working hard, as always.
Alright, you do that, I'm hardly working.
Yeah.
Alright.
The order of the words is...
That's for sure. Alright, dude, I'll see you later.
Alright, take it easy, Kevin.
Bye.
Bye.
He was sunbathing.